Well, hello and welcome back to the Third Man's Cricket Show. Just yesterday, we had the second T20I, which was won by Sri Lanka by 4 wickets, and today is the decider of this particular series. India and Sri Lanka once again go to the wire to win the series. The T20 series is on the line. Let's welcome our analysts on the panel today. We have Amog and Kaustubh with us. Amog and Kaustubh, how are you feeling about today's match? The decider after a long time. We are having such a thrilling series being played. So, how are you feeling, both of you?
Great, finally back on live. And today is gonna be a. I think that this is gonna be a great match today. Can't wait to have it.
Definitely. And Amog, what about you? How are you feeling
Yes,
about today?
yes. I agree with Kaustubh. There is actually nothing for not to be excited for today's game. After what happened yesterday, it's really very exciting to know how the match will go today. So yes, very excited.
Well, I have just received a very big news just right now. Ravi Sai Kishore has been handed a debut cap. We didn't see this coming. Navdeep Saini was injured. That was for we knew that Navdeep Saini won't be playing today, but we weren't expecting a player like Ravi Sai Kishore, who hasn't even featured in the IPL so far, making a debut today. So, Kaustup, how about this inclusion in today's match of Ravi Sai Kishore by the Indian side?
This is slightly reminding me of my college days. There used to be a engineering Premier League, and I think this is the similar situation. जो भी आ रहा है डाल दो टीम में भर दो बस 11 बनाओ. And I think there were three spinners last time when I was playing 11, and a faster gets injured, and we don't even bother to look around our net bowlers, and we are just pumping the side with the spinners, making it a spin heavy. And what can I say? This is this is literally like my college days, back to back matches. I remember playing final just 15 minutes after the semi final. So this kind of feeling same.
And Amog, how about you? What are your thoughts on this particular inclusion?
Um, I think we'll be playing with four spinners now, so it's good in a way because we saw what happened with the pitch yesterday. It's getting slower and slower with more matches being played on the same pitch. So I don't think that it will be the same pitch as yesterday. It will be the adjacent pitch to what it was yesterday. But I think overall the ground is really getting slower. The pitch, to be precise, because more and more matches are being played. So I think going in with four spinners can be a blessing in disguise because there are not many options around with whatever happened after the first T20. We have to go with this 11. So it was just a matter of whether a pacer or a spinner will replace Saini, and I guess Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Sakaria can do the job with the pace bowling. We need a spinner, which is, I think Sai Kishore has been an exciting prospect in the TNPL as well. So I think it is a good option, which we don't
Yes,
have
exactly.
many
When you
options with.
see Ravi Sai Kishore's number in the Tamil Nadu Premier League, he has been one of the finest spinners in that particular league. Of course, he hasn't gotten a chance to feature in the IPL. But about what you said, Amog, Murli Karthik in the pitch report mentioned that it is a fresh pitch. It is not the same used pitch as yesterday. Of course, the pitch looks similar. It's dry and similar to the one which was yesterday, but it is a fresh pitch. So, still, do you think that Ravi Sai Kishore is a good inclusion, or do you think that because yesterday on the show we were discussing that a player like Arshdeep Singh might get a chance to make a debut? He's a medium pacer who has good variations. So, do you think India should have given a debut to a medium pacer, or going with a fourth spinner is the perfect choice? Kaustubh and Amar, what do you think about this?
Can I go first?
Yeah,
Yes,
Kaustubh,
yes,
go.
sure.
Yeah. So I see. I'm slightly concerned with it because we don't have enough pacers in our bowling lineup, and there is not even a pace ball all rounder with us. I think Hardik Pandya, due to his brother being COVID positive, was ruled out. So it is slightly concerning because max to max we can bowl at. If we go by the team combinations, last time we had Navdeep Saini, but we did not let him bowl that much. So I think maybe looking at the pitches that they were preparing, and the success that Sri Lanka had with the spinners, I think that might have forced them to think that spin might be our way to win the matches. Because apart from the spin, they had nothing going in their side. Even the last match they won, it went to the last ball, and had it not been because of the full toss that slipped out of Bhuvneshwar Kumar's hand, the match was pretty much on our side. It was the one mistake that cost us, but I don't think we can blame the boys. And yeah, things like that happen in the game. We move on from that, and I think playing the four spinner is slightly a gamble, but what can we do? Beggars are not choosers, and this is what we got, and this is what we play.
Exactly, beggars are not choosers. This is the only set of players that we have to fit into the playing 11 today. But yes, rightly mentioned there, Kostov yesterday just won that one ball mistake from Bhuvan. He went for the knuckle ball, but unfortunately the ball slipped from his hand, a full toss, which went for the six. But do you think that, India was not playing even a B side or even a C? It was probably a D or an E side of an Indian team, if you see from one perspective, and still they were able to take the game so deep. So, do you take it as a positive or do you take it as a negative, seeing that yes, there were a few experienced players in the squad, yet the performance was not up to the mark?
Well, definitely a positive. I would say it's definitely a positive because if we see our batting lineup, we just had five main batsmen to go ahead with. Three of them were debutants. So I think with such a lineup, if you put 132 on a wicket which was turning and which was not very easy for batting, the ball was not coming onto the bat very nicely. So even yesterday, if we saw, we crossed the 100-run mark in the 16th over, which is a bit rare in T20s. So I think it is a achievement. I would say putting up 132 with just five main batsmen and Bhuvneshwar Kumar is really a good thing. Is a positive thing. I don't think that they'll be disappointed with that.
And Kostu, what are your thoughts on this?
Sorry, I forgot the question. Can you repeat it?
Yeah, I said that even with we were not playing even a C team or a D team. It was a very inexperienced lineup, probably a D or an E side, and yet we were able to take the game to the second last ball. So, do you take it as a positive or do you see it as a negative? Because yes, there were experienced players in the squad, and the batting was still not up to the mark.
No, no, definitely it is a positive. I mean, what better can we say? We are playing with the international team. Let's not take Sri Lanka very lightly. They can still do very well on their sort of tracks, and it just sort of think about rhythm. They were not in rhythm. They were also struggling with injuries. The main player were banned, and then they also had some struggle. But let's not forget, these are international players. These are not some club cricketers or anyone who they have picked up. They are proper international cricketers. They have come out of their uh, uh, what we can say a rigid system that they have developed for themselves, and for any youngster to just go in there and play like they belong there, like Chetan Sakaria bowling the penultimate over, that too. I mean, it was really precise, the back of the hand slower balls, and I think the pressure that the youngsters are absorbing, even the Devdutt Padikkal, he did not try to go and just bam bam, let's just go and deal with it. He played a very sensible knock. He tried to wait till the end. Even Nitish Rana, uh, things did not come off as they wanted to, but it is definitely a positive. We should have youngsters who can play, that they belong there. That is why we also conquered the Australia after so many years.
Well, and talking about positives over here, Kostu, it's a big positive day for Sri Lankan cricket as well. Yesterday on the show, we were discussing about the transition period going for for Sri Lankan cricket, and today, 29th of July, I would like to inform our viewers, as you can even see on your screens, that on this day in 2006. The great pair of Kumar Sangakkara and Mahela Jayawardene put up a 624-run partnership in Test cricket against South Africa, a massive partnership that was for the third wicket, and it's really a historic day for Sri Lanka, and they would want to make it even more historic by ending their five series back to back losses in T20s. They would want to break that streak. So Amar, how important a day this is for not just this particular Sri Lankan team, but also Sri Lankan cricket and their advancement through the transition period that they're going through.
Very important. I would say Mahela Jayawardene and Kumar Sangakkara not just this 624 run stand, but they have stitched many partnerships together for Sri Lankan cricket and saved them in many games. So 624 run partnership does not happen every day. I mean, it's a very big achievement. So a very big day for Sri Lankan cricket, and as you said, I think they would really love to win a series and break their five series losses streak today. I also remember the century that Jayawardene got in the 2011 World Cup finals. That was another good knock under high pressure. So nothing can beat this partnership of 624. But both of them have been real legends of the game, and Sri Lanka would really like to win today's game and give it as a tribute to those two legends.
Exactly, a win for the Sri Lankan side would really boost their morale, going even into the T20 World Cups, because in a couple of months we are going to have the T20 World Cup as well. And if we all know, in 2014 they won the World Cup, so they would want to at least make it to the semi. Of course, it's a tough task to make it to the semi-finals, but they would want to give a good fight over there. But talking about giving good fights, yesterday, yes, there was lack of intent in the batting by our batsmen. But today, they have, of course, the batsmen would have focused a lot on the mistakes that they have made. But coming on Shikhar Dhawan right now, yes, Shikhar Dhawan played a really slow innings. Would you want Shikhar Dhawan to go with the same approach today, seeing the inexperience in the lineup, and stay as long as possible and towards the death? Go and hit, or would you like him to be aggressive up front in the power plays and attack the Sri Lankan fast bowlers, especially? What do you think? Kaustubh, you go first.
I think Dhawan should play what comes naturally to him, anchor the innings. I think he is the only one mature enough in the batting lineup. Not to bash on the other batsmen. Others are also mature, but I think Dhawan can play that anchor inning and others can play around him because we don't have that many batsmen. So if we get off to a good start, I feel personally feel Ruturaj Gaikwad is a very good stroke player, and as it has been mentioned again and again in the comments that the pitch is fresh. So if we win the toss and we chose to bat first, then he can get the ball right up to on his bat. And I feel Dhawan can play the anchors inning, and when it goes down to the death overs, or even in the 13th, 15th over, if he stays there, I think we have a good chance because we got Nitish Rana down there. Not much, on five, number five, we don't have that much deeper batting lineup, but on five we have Nitish Rana, we got Devdutt Padikkal. So if someone can just take down the game, we can blast at the end. I think Dhawan should play a good anchors inning. At least we can have a defendable target like last time.
Exactly, and as I can see, Ronak over here mentioning in the comments, he thinks that Sai Kishore's inclusion will sort of solve a little bit of batting issue. His bowling definitely helps with the height that he has. Yes, Sai Kishore is a tall bowler, so his height will definitely help him in bowling. But yes, he also is a decent batsman. Just like similar to Bhuvneshwar Kumar, he can rotate the strike very well, and at times, a couple of times, he can push the ball here and there for boundary. So, Amok, do you think that his batting is also a very massive reason for his inclusion today in the squad?
Well, I think that his batting will be a cherry on the cake, but his inclusion is mainly because of his bowling, is what I feel. I think has some good height, so it will help with his bowling more than his batting, because the ball will come from a different height and will pose questions for the Sri Lankan batsman. So I think his batting will surely help. Not that it will not help, but I think that's not the only reason because of for his inclusion.
Well, another update which I am getting, this is now a sort of confusion over here, but it seems like Sandeep Warrior has been handed his T20 debut cap. The news is coming that it's not confirmed whether it is Sai Kishore or not, but yes, Sandeep Warrior definitely has been handed over a debut cap. So a bit of a fuss over here, but Sandeep Warrior again, a good fast bowler. Kaustubh, who would you prefer in the playing 11, Sandeep Warrior or Sai Kishore?
I think what I'm reading from is that both of them are making the debut. So Dream 11 has a big job to do today. They are going to have big tonight. And for all of those who are wondering, I don't think we can guess the playing 11 today. Most probably we can guess the playing 11 of Sri Lanka. I think Sandeep Warrior, both of these, I'm feeling that these are forced changes. Uh, I don't see why. I think the Saini, we all know that Saini was injured in the last game. And apart from that, I don't understand in whose place Sandeep Warrior is going to come in. I just hope it is not a batsman. We can't afford to lose another batsman right now. So, like, yeah, I'm running out of words. I don't understand where he's coming in. We have three spinners last time, two fast bowlers, and yeah, it's tough.
If
Well,
there was someone to if there was someone to replace a batsman out of these five, we would take nothing less than Rahul Dravid, sir, right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I don't think we can afford to replace any batsman right now.
Correct, correct.
we would love to see Rahul Dravid back in the
Yeah.
Indian side, but the news from the center right now is that India has won the toss and they will be batting first once again in the game. So, Amok, do you think this is the right decision that that Shikhar Dhawan has taken, batting first, seeing what happened yesterday? Do you think batting first is the ideal option for India?
Yes, yes. I feel batting first is the right option because of the number of batsmen that we have. We don't have too much of depth towards the end, so I think it is important to put on a score on the board and then try to defend that because the number of bowlers that we have is more, and the pitch gets slower and slower towards the end. So it's important to put a decent total on board. I don't think the pitch will behave any different than yesterday. Maybe 132 will be 140, 145, but not more than that. But I think it is a right call because imagine chasing 150 with just five batsmen. It puts more pressure. 150 is not a big total in a T20, but just having five batsmen puts more pressure. So I believe batting first and putting a score on the board is always the orthodox way of playing in a pressure game. So if there are runs on the board, you will always feel a bit secure to defend them.
And Kaustubh, do you think that this is the right decision that Dhawan has taken?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with whatever Mok said. He was very precise and to the point. We don't have enough batting line. We don't have enough depth in the batting lineup to chase a big target, and I think we should play by our strength. We have six bowlers in our 11, and we should definitely look to defend the target. And yesterday we almost pulled it off. Uh, yeah, I think this is a great decision.
This is a great decision, and Amok over here, Amok said that 140 or something would be an ideal total on this pitch. But yes, of course, it's a fresh pitch as the pitch report says. So, Kostu, what do you think should be the ideal total that the Indian side should put up on the board?
Looking at yesterday's performance and the batting lineup that we had, I think 150 should be enough for us to defend. If
Uh,
yeah, I think the
Kostu,
pitch at us looking at Sri Lanka, I think they can make out that the spinners are working for them. The spinners are in rhythm, and I think they will try to capitalize on them. So I think the pitch is going to get worse and worse as the match goes on.
Okay, exactly, very rightly said over there. And as I can say that Crickbuzz really played us by telling us that Sai Kishore will be making a debut. Unfortunately, he is not. It is Sandeep Warrior who is making the debut. Sandeep Warrior is replacing Navdeep Saini. So, Kaustubh, there are no batsmen being replaced. So you would slightly be happy, but seeing Saini's average in ODIs, do you think Saini, are you upset about the batting now? That seeing Saini's average?
Before
Yeah,
before
go.
everything, and I'm seeing that Crickbuzz has not been very accurate with the news. So I would just like to pitch in that I'm in my last year and I'm looking for some placements during my campus. So if Crickbuzz anyone is listening, I'm up for air. And being said that, yeah, it was a shocking surprise. I don't know how Sai Kishore came from, and I think we are all sure that Sai Kishore is not making his debut. It is Sandeep Warrior, and yeah, I'm just happy that it is
Kaustubh,
not one of the batsmen. It is, yeah.
you have already applied for a couple of internships. यार कितना काम करेगा?
I'm not asking for internships. I'm asking for placement. It is a tight market. You have to do whatever you can.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, I have worked as a content writer in female cricket. Great
Yeah.
academy.
Yes.
Jokes apart over there, even in the Sri Lankan side, there is one change. Isuru Udana, their fast bowler, Isuru Udana is injured and is unavailable for today. And Pathum Nisanka replaces Isuru Udana. Well, once again, as we see, Charita Salanka, who has had a brilliant series, is not there in the playing 11. But Kaustubh and Amok, both of you, the way the Sri Lankan all-rounders have played against as compared to the Indian all-rounders, both in the ODI series and the T20 series up till now, how much difference does it make on the way both the teams have played, focusing on the all-rounders on both the sides? Amog, you go first.
Well, I think the Sri Lankan all-rounders have been really good, especially Vanindu Hasaranga has been really well. It has been really difficult for our batsman to pick his leg spinners as well as his googlies. So I think he is one X factor for Sri Lanka in this game. We really need to be wary of his bowling. Another one I think from Sri Lanka has been Akila Dhananjaya. He's not batted much obviously in this series, but his bowling has again been really well. He's not been afraid to toss the ball up. And Dhananjaya De Silva, with the kind of inning that he played yesterday, and he can also pitch in with 1 or 2 overs, which provides that cushion for his captain to recover overs of some other bowler who's being hit for runs. So I think it has made a massive difference. The Indian all-rounders have obviously not been there. They've just got one game in this series. Krunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, they have not been able to be there due to the reasons that we all know. But I think it has made a considerable difference.
Exactly. And Kaustubh, how about you? How much the impact of all rounders has affected the series so far?
Yeah, definitely. I think Krunal Pandya was our premier all-rounder, and him being COVID positive has definitely affected the balance that we had on our side. Because we can see if he is not there, we can't go 6 and 7. The batting that he had, and I think even although Hardik Pandya was not bowling to his much, to the capabilities that he is able to bowl, but chipping in 1 or 2 overs was a big deal from him. And even in T20s, whatever, even the 1 over, if you can just go for cheap runs, it really helps a lot at the back of the end, at the back of the innings. So I think those two going away was a big impact for us. And looking at Sri Lanka, if you can see, they yesterday 8 bowlers bowled overs for just 5 batsmen. So it shows what variety can do. And I mean, the Hasaranga and the Akila Dhananjaya, the both of them, what a day to come into the form, right? IPL is being shifted to UAE. You are getting Indian batsmen out who predominantly play in IPL, and New Zealand and Australia players backing out. So yeah, this is the time to pick up, and they are making best of it. The situation are suiting them, and hopefully nobody criticizes the pitches this time like they did in India, because obviously the pitches don't matter in T20s.
Exactly. Where good banter over there. We all know whom you were targeting, but yes, rightly mentioned that yesterday Sri Lanka used 8 bowlers. Luckily today there won't be 8 bowlers bowling because Isuru Udana has been is injured, so he's not playing, and Patum Nisanka, as we said, is making way into the playing area, and of course he's a batsman. So Sri Lanka have focused more on their batting depth today, but Indian bowlers definitely have struggled against both the spinners, Akila Dhananjay and Vanindu Hasaranga. Apart from the first T20 where Dhawan fired Akila Dhananjay, the entire series Indian batsmen have struggled against the Sri Lankan spinners. So Amok, how do you think that today the Indian bowlers should tackle these two spinners, especially the 8 overs? How do you think Indian batsmen should go ahead with the quota of 8 overs that these both bowlers are having?
Um, there's a simple answer to this. I mean, just play a natural game. The more you think, the more you go on to overthink, and you tend to then get confused with your own thoughts what is needed to be done. But the trick is just to keep it simple and just keep playing your natural game. I mean, if you're representing your country, you're obviously good enough to face any bowler in the world. So I think you just need to, even if you are able to get 40 or 50 runs out of those 8 overs, then I think we are really in a very good position, because we can always attack other bowlers, and fast bowlers are really bowling well on these kind of wickets because the variations are coming into play. So that is what we need to be wary of, and which we will be obviously. So there's not उसमें कुछ rocket science नहीं है कि we have to do some different thing or something else completely, but you just have to keep on playing your natural game according to the situation, whatever it demands.
Very rightly said over there. And in yesterday's game, of course, people credited Dhananjay De Silva a lot for his innings. Of course, the way he played definitely deserves all the credit that is being given to him. But one player which we didn't talk much about yesterday was Minod Bhanuka. Minod Bhanuka didn't have a good ODI series. The first couple of ODIs, he was not that impressive, but in the third ODI, then in the first two T20s, he did seem a bit explosive. And when you have a batter like Avishka Fernando at the top, who is capable of going at a run rate of 9, 10, or 11, and now you have another batsman, Vinod Bhanuka, who is also being on the explosive side. How do you think that the Indian openers today should go? Of course, we did speak about Shikhar Dhawan's approach, but do you think that Indian batsmen should also go for this aggressiveness? Or yesterday we saw that 61 for 1 in 10 overs. Or do you think that we should play that way itself?
I think as soon as the first ball is bowled, they will get a fair enough idea of the pitch and what the conditions are, and accordingly, the strategy should be planned. I think Dhawan has a cool head on his shoulders, and he will definitely, and being experienced, like 36-year-old, he has a fair bit of idea how to go about it, and him being mentoring position, him being there and anchoring the innings throughout the way. I think that will be crucial. If Dhawan stays there for at least 13, 14 overs, I think we have a good chance. And just as we can see how the pitch plays, and so we can understand that right now all we have is the crick bus source, and for that matter 10 minutes ago we thought Sai Kishore was making debut.
Exactly. And Amok, how much impact does such a good opening start? How much impact does it have on the other batsmen who are batting down the order? How much of a boost does it give them when they come into the pitch in tricky conditions?
Huge difference. It makes a huge difference. A good start by the openers gives the batsman a huge boost. You can just imagine. I mean, someone batting at number three or number four. I mean, they are coming into bat, and if the score is like 10 for 2 or 10 for 3 at the end of 4 overs, then their morale is not going to be too much high. But if they come in at the end of 4 or 5 overs and the score is already 42 for no loss or 42 for 1, depending upon the position they are coming in, I think it's going to be a huge morale boost for them as well, because the score will be more in a common sense, but they'll also have that motivation to always look for runs and not protect their wicket. But in today's game, I feel we just have five batsmen again coming to the same point. We have to use them wisely, and Kaustubh rightly mentioned that Shikhar Dhawan has a very cool head on his shoulders. So I think he will play the anchor's role and he'll be there playing his shots. He has enough experience. So to answer your question, yes, it makes a huge difference when the openers give you a very good start.
I think Dhawan will be the key today.
Exactly, of course, Dhawan is the most experienced batsman, so he has to take up the responsibility being the captain as well. And yes, Dhawan's innings, the way he approaches the Sri Lankan bowlers is gonna be really crucial. But just as we are about to wrap up quickly, your predictions: whom are you banking on? Kostav, how much do you think that Indian batsmen will score, and what do you think will be the result of the match?
Just as I said previously, I think 150 to 160, anything that we can get to, just get across 140, and then I think we are good enough to defend the total.
And Amok, what about you? What are your predictions for today?
140, anything above 140, I would really love, as Kaustubh said, nothing different. But I think we'll get to 140 simply because it is a fresh pitch and it will start turning in the first inning itself. But 140, I would say 140 looks good.
So both are experts saying that anything above 140 will be good enough for the Indian team to defend the total. It's the decider of the series. The series stands at 1-1. It is India versus Sri Lanka. Thanks to all our viewers for joining us, and thanks to both Kaustubh and Amok for giving your insights about today's match. Do join us as soon as the match is finished. I am sure we are up for a thriller of the game, which will start in just about 15 minutes. Thanks to each and every one of you. This is Parth Rathod signing off.
Thank you.